So you've witnessed or advised or invested in hundreds, if not thousands, of entrepreneurs over the last 20 years. And I recently heard you say that, and I'm paraphrasing, that it's better to start late and be quickly successful versus starting early and taking a long time. Maybe just explain what you mean by that.
Yeah, we're going back to Finland now. This is Finland. In Finland, people are extremely innovative. Like they invent things long before anybody else, like a mobile phone. But then mostly they say, okay, here's my product. Please, world, can you buy it? And if sales doesn't grow, they do nothing about it. They say, oh, okay, maybe the market isn't there. Like they have this weird combination of being very creative and before their times, but then not being able to drive it forcefully. And what happens then is that soon there will be a mediocre product coming around the corner with much more go-to-market power that will take over the market. And then the original innovator will sit there saying, what happened? I invented this. So, and that's my point, that these inventors should have the confidence to hold back a little bit, wait. I'm speaking from my own experience because I've been a number of times myself in startups that were 10 years too soon. Like, there was no chance we could succeed. We were too eager. And if we had waited longer and built the plan and said, okay, let's do it when the time is right. And when we do it, let's do it with so much forcefulness and so many resources that we can truly make it happen, then that's how you build a great business. Because people talk about first mover advantage. In the tech space, it's not a first mover advantage. There's a first scaler advantage. The first one to start scaling will win, but not the first one in the market. So it's a well-intended advice to those eager startup entrepreneurs who are so excited to get their product out that they sort of go out before they are ready or before the world is ready.
So in this case of that entrepreneur, and including myself, where the fruits of your labor have not, I guess, paid off in the sense of scaling or getting traction,
Yeah.
there's, I guess, two types, maybe generalizing entrepreneurs. One is I want to solve a problem. And then one is like, I'm so passionate about this, it's my life. Whereas, that first entrepreneur is, I want to solve a problem, then another problem, then another problem. Um, I guess, how would you counsel? So the second category of entrepreneur, where it's like, oh, this is truly what I want to do in my life. It's the reason I was born.
Yeah.
But then you start early and then you don't see the traction and then you just kind of like fail. Or do you call yourself a failure or do you shelve it? What's you can watch a YouTube video and be like, never give up, and you're like, shit, have I given up too early? Like now,
There's never good advice as to whether you should give up or not, because you should be coachable, you should be ready to pivot, and at the same time you should never give up. And those can be contradictory pieces of advice. But if you are the person who will always want to do it and you can see yourself doing nothing else in the world, then maybe you are the innovator but not the entrepreneur. Maybe you should find employment or founders who can build the business and you get to focus on what you do. Maybe you will even take employment in a big company. There's nothing wrong in that. And you enjoy their infrastructure and their go-to-market machinery. They pay you a good salary. Maybe you won't be like the billionaire founder ever, but maybe that's not your goal. So you can absolutely stay true to it and keep working on it and be the earliest innovator, but you find a place where that's welcome and where they have maybe a research lab where they have a lot of initiatives that are running for several years before they decide which ones they take to market. To me, that's perfectly acceptable. Or then you settle for the small business. Like there's a database called SQLite, which is enormously popular, like an embedded database. And the creator of it, Richard Hipp, who's an amazing database engineer, he, and I don't want to speak for him, but the way I understood it when we chatted with him is that he chose to keep a relatively small business that is under his control. He wants the product to be highly popular and used everywhere, but he's not trying, and he wasn't trying to build a huge business. He wanted a business that would give him a nice lifestyle and fun things to do, and then that's it. And that is perfectly acceptable. So he did that. he put the database in the public domain. Anybody can use it for commercial reasons or not. Nobody has to pay him anything. And there was enough of consulting gigs and others to give him a wonderful lifestyle and be able to work with what he loved. But he didn't have to embark on this super exponential growth. And we should respect those enormously. Like, it's not everybody has to try to build a unicorn. We should be useful to the world in the way that's comes naturally to us, and it could be, there are many variations of it.